Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Soulful Feasts, bite-sized information to nourish your body, mind, and spirit. I'm your host, Stephanie Zubiri, and welcome to this amazing episode with some empowered women. So amazing. If you're new to this podcast, welcome here. We've got such a treat in store for you. Now, don't forget to subscribe, to rate us, give us 5 stars, yay, and send a comment below or connect with us on Instagram at Soulful Feast. Now, why do I say you are in store for a really amazing treat? Now, we have 3 amazing women here whose basically purpose right now is to empower other women to grow their businesses, to expand. And I think that's so incredible and perfect for Women's Month. We have here, I'm going to read it out. There's so many slashers and amazing things that they do. We have the co-founder of, well, they're all co-founders of Leading Ladies, but the founder and CEO of Posh Nails, co-founder of Dear Sundays, Kat Ilacad. Hi, Kat. Hi, we also have another co-founder of Leading Ladies, founder of Alphabet Soup Inc., Rache Stern.
Hello.
And then we have a community leader of Team Leading Ladies, content creator, host, author, entrepreneur, Rica Peralejo-Bonifacio.
Hi, Steph.
Hi. Oh my gosh. So that's a mouthful. Between these 3 women, they are doing some amazing things. First off, let's talk about Leading Ladies. What exactly is it and how is it beneficial to the community?
Go, you can say it.
Yeah. Okay. So, Steph, Leading Ladies is all about providing a space for women entrepreneurs, creators, artists, but most especially for women who have goals, who wants to be inspired, who wants to be motivated. So Leading Ladies is a community of women who just want to connect, network, find their next mentor, find their next BFF, find their next big sister. And that's what we are all about. It's all about sharing a space, not being judged by other people, and just being yourself.
You know what? I really love this because I just turned 40 and I've been through many incarnations of my business and my business hats. I had a restaurant, I had like a catering business, all kinds of things. And when I was starting, particularly in the restaurant business, there was nothing really like this. I didn't feel like there was a lot of support, for women, especially once you start having children. Like the issues are very different, right? Especially for entrepreneurs. You end up having so many different hats and so many things to do. Right. So this is great. Congratulations.
Yes.
So what drove you to start this?
So, let me answer that question.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to start, this all started when during the pandemic. So, Kat and I would normally talk about businesses that we can do. So we're like, what can we do? How can we earn more money? We're always talking about it. Since I met her, since 2013, we would always talk about businesses. But nothing really came into fruition. So, but then 2021 came. So we started talking and said, let's do something again. But eventually it turned out into something more purposeful. Yeah. So we said, okay, maybe I know a lot of people were struggling that time, right? So we were like, maybe now it's time to give back. Maybe we can do something that we can, share with others. So maybe let's start something where we can, teach or learn or, just be able to be a big sister to someone who's also struggling at that time. Because all our businesses are,
I can imagine.
Especially her business, Posh Nails, and mine, we do activations and events. So definitely no interaction with anyone, right? So so we started talking about that. And then Kat said, sige, let's do that. So we started inviting our friends. So all of the community before were just our friends. Like we had 1,000. And
that's a lot then.
But those are all our friends. Like,
love it.
Like, let's get our friends. So we did online events.
Yeah.
The events were really more I think we did 2. One focused on finance.
Yeah.
And parang sort of like a DIY financial system, how you can do your finances. And then another one focused on social media and content creation. So it was an online thing, but eventually I think, so when we were thinking of another session, what kind of class we would do, We were already struggling. Okay, who's gonna be our clients or customers? We actually don't have really our community yet. So basically, those are just
Yeah.
our friends, right? So we said okay. Eventually, we
Took a pause.
took a pause, and we said we have to realign and maybe have to restructure everything before we go on again. So 1 year after,
Yeah.
1 year after, Kat called me again, said, Rach, let's start doing leading
Growing the
ladies, yeah,
community.
growing the community, because that time we stopped because we also had to start focusing on our business again.
Yeah.
So Kat like, okay, let's do that. I really want to do this community again, so let's start building our community. So for like about probably like 7 months, we started building the community, just posting online, and then suddenly we were at like 7,000.
But of course, with the
followers.
addition of
Yes,
Rica,
yes.
and it was
Yeah.
a really great factor that we brought her in because her influence has reached a lot of people. So what
It's
Rach
amazing.
was trying to say was from 1,000, we're now 10,400
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Galing.
Well, that wasn't me naman. I mean, like,
No, but
I mean,
a big factor when she
Yeah.
came in.
Yeah.
So the community
So what
really grew.
drew you in to join?
well, I've been friends with Kat for a long, long time already.
Okay.
Like when she started, if you know about Posh Nails, that's
Yes.
like all her. And when she started, nobody understood the concept of a nail spa. Like, diba before, it was like manicure, pedicure ni ate,
Correct,
come
correct.
here. That's
Yeah.
all. So, she started that, and I was her friend. Tapos, artista na ako. So, parang, pwede ikaw na lang model ko? Sure. So, we like to do things like that
Together.
together. Na parang, okay, let's just do little things together.
Yeah.
And she eventually became this really, really amazing businesswoman. But not only that, like Rach was saying earlier, that, they wanted to be a big sister to like
Yeah.
people who probably are women, who are probably thinking of, I have an idea, I want to bring it to the next level. How do I do that? And that's basically who Kat is to me. Like, I always have ideas. I will tell her, moms, I call her moms, gusto ko ng ganito, gusto ko ng ganyan. Sabi niya, moms, tuloy mo na yan. You can do this, you can do
Love
that.
it. Cheerleader.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what drew me
Yes.
in. Because when
Yeah.
she would do that to me. So when she told me about the concept, I said, you know what? Let's do it on a bigger level. Like,
Yeah.
let's do it to more women out there.
Love it.
And empower them to reach their dreams.
You know what? I'll tell you this. I think a lot of women are uncomfortable with the idea of making money or talking about money. Parang I love that, that narrative and that conversation is changing, right? And that women have a different approach to business than men do. That
Yes.
it's not linear. It's like, I call it like shifting priorities.
Yeah.
Like for a really long time, Kasi I realized, hindi ako sales lady. Masama ako sa sales. I'm really bad at sales. But I'm a creative, right? So like, I like to create. I put things out there. I like to write. I always give birth to projects, ideas, and then I'll work on it.
Right.
But I never saw myself as a business. And when I had that shift, when I spoke to some friends who were kind of like you also, like you women who are like, look, you can take your passion and turn it into a business, and you can grow. And that's really inspiring, that you don't have to do it all yourself. You can actually, as you grow your business, you're also giving back. You're providing jobs, you're
Yes,
adding to the economy, and women do it in a different way.
Yeah.
With a lot of support and a lot of also flexibility for the different hats that they wear, right? Yeah. So what are some of the things that you encounter in leading ladies? Like, what are some of perhaps the challenges that many of these women have?
Well, when we did our first event last year, first and foremost, everybody was really just so eager to learn
Yeah.
and so energized. But then that became also there, like Kat mentioned a while ago, it's really an open space for them to bring, to just discuss their struggles in businesses. So a lot actually we're discussing about basically some content creation. How will they start promoting their brands? How are they going to beat their competition? What's going to be their KPI or USP? And then some, really, it's all about managing people, how they will expand also.
Yeah.
How some of them already have their businesses, but they really don't know how to sustain it or to expand their business.
Correct.
So
I think they're common questions for business, and sometimes you think na parang, no, siguro naman they know it na. But honestly, so many people are struggling. So many women are like, who do I ask for these things? Like yung simpleng, how do I go and file for like all my papers? Diba?
It's hard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I haven't done it yet for Soulful Feast. It's still under my name.
Diba?
Like, yeah.
So like simple things like that, but also specifically women. So like I've spoken to like a lot of my friends already na, because we have this upcoming event March 29, and there's this what's the title of our yung mom, and what's that session?
Raising an empire.
Raising an
Oh,
empire.
I love
Balancing
that's it.
motherhood.
Yes,
Yeah.
balancing motherhood and business
And
ba?
entrepreneurship. Yeah.
So like my friends were saying, that's what I'm really most excited about. And I
Yeah.
said, you know what? Yeah, no, kasi dads will not think that way.
They don't. And also, like, society doesn't paint dads as dads first, right? Okay, when you introduce people like, okay, this is Kat, she's a mother, an entrepreneur, pero pag okay guys, this is Jose, he's the CEO. Diba? Walang attachment to the parenting, and it's like there's so much pressure.
So sobra yung need
Yeah.
talaga na parang we wear way more many hats than like men, right?
For
so,
sure. Yeah.
Kailangan mo talaga ng community na nakakaintindi nun. Just like in the hospital, when you go, there's a women's health section.
Yeah.
Kasi mas marami talaga tayong kailangan itanong. So even in business, in leadership, passion projects, what have you, iba talaga maging babae.
Yeah.
And just to add to that also, the community can offer solutions, but can also just, like kunyari I tell Rach, na-pirate yung nail tech ko. Oh, ako din. Just somebody who can relate
Yeah.
to you.
Commiserate.
Yeah. And in one of our events, Steph, actually, one member stood up and was actually sort of crying already, saying, I need to close down a family business because we cannot handle manpower anymore. And just 2 weeks ago, I talked to someone else and she said, you know what? I partnered with this girl. I wouldn't say the name, but then I said, who again? Remember that person who was going to close down her store? And I said, amazing. They started another brand together. And that's what we are here for.
Incredible. That's so amazing. So I have a question. This notion of, like, let's say being competitive, no? Like, there still are people. I don't think it's necessarily just for women, but then media and society kind of like to put women against each other. And it's quite sad. How do you feel about that? And do you feel like that's changing just from a personal perspective? Or even within the community, do you have, like, let's say, competing brands that are together? And how does that look like,
Yeah.
We have a lot. Actually, when we started getting to know them, there are a lot of brands that are similar. But the good thing was, they were really like excited to collaborate. Like, oh, how can I help you? How can I be of assistance to you? So, that's what we like about the community. It's because really the energy, and you see that they're really parang more positive, rather than like parang, oh, I'm parang, nako, she's my kalaban, she's my
Yes.
competitor.
Yeah.
You can feel that the energy is really like more uplifting rather than, oh, she's my competition. So that's what we actually really like when we first met everyone during the first launch that we had.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and also on a personal point of view, I think people now realize that there's such a big market for everybody. Like, for me, like, I don't mind having other nail salons supporting leading ladies. It's not just for me, it's for everybody.
Correct.
So it's all up to us to serve them better. parang ganun na lang. It's not really competition. It's always collaboration. So that's what we want to achieve with all, not only our participants, but also our brand partners.
Yeah.
Diba? It's really just one big pie, and just to get a share is okay already.
Has this always been like this for you guys? Like, let's say, how many years ago when you were starting? Ayun, gusto ko yan.
Actually, really, di ba parang before, honestly, di ba, parang to be honest, di ba, sometimes, especially when you see now in social media,
Yeah.
parang, oh my God, how is this person so successful? I mean, you can't help but feel sometimes I'm inadequate, or what am I not doing right?
Yeah.
But parang now you have to kind of change your mindset na, teka, if she can do it, I can also do it. But I have other strengths that maybe she
Correct.
doesn't. So it's hard because naman, this is a society of really comparing each other, like all, lalo na sa women. I don't know, maybe it's the emotional or hormonal things.
Let me tell you, okay, my mom used to call me and be like, one of my friends was like on the cover of a magazine, sasabihin niya, bakit siya? Ba't hindi ikaw?
Oh,
Ganon!
that's
My
true.
mom would call me. I'm like, oh my God, I'm just trying to live my life.
I think also the virtual world has changed a lot of things for us. Kasi
Yeah.
before naman, it's like a handful of networks trying to expose like everybody who's out there. Now it's like you are your own network.
Yeah.
'Di ba? Parang hindi mo na kailangang umasa sa iba. You can just, like, I'm so amazed with how just the moms I know, they could just start up an online shop just like that.
Yes.
Eh dati, para makapag-business ka, parang hanap ka pa ng pwesto, sino yung connection mo, and then magkano yung capital mo. Ngayon, it's just like, tomorrow I can put this up.
Go, like TikTok,
Diba?
right? Or even
Amazing.
Lazada
Exactly.
affiliate
Yeah.
or whatever,
So
those
it's a
Shopee
different
affiliates.
world. It's very empowering to a lot of us. And I think that helps to like not compare ourselves with other people
Yeah.
anymore so much. Kasi parang lahat naman tayo may chance dito.
Yes. Parang one of the things that really struck me was a friend of mine who's a life coach. Her name is Asia Hilario. She's part Filipino, part from Saipan. Grew up in the US. So I met her last year. She posted something that said, don't be focused on vanity metrics. Be focused on actually what you earn. Because at the end of the day, does it really matter if you have hundreds of thousands of followers? If you just have 10,000 but you're earning what you want to earn, that's great. That means you're reaching the audience you want to reach. That means you're, getting, so it really, that really helped me shift my perspective, On the flip side though, I was chatting with somebody recently, and I was being considered for a campaign for a department store, and then they were like, alam ko hanggang 60 plus thousand ka lang, pero I lobbied for you to get paid na parang 100K. Sabi ko, shit, I'm trying to let go of that na. But pinapatir mo pa ako. It's all in my head now. I have to reach 100K. But it's so funny. I'm like, there's still two sides of the coin that like the businesses still kind of
Right.
operate with those metrics, right? So how do you navigate those things?
I think it goes back to what you said, that if it works, it works, diba? You don't need anybody else telling you. You know the numbers. If it works, it works. And also, there's peace in knowing that I'm not trying to get 1 million people. I'm only trying to get the people that I'm really supposed to get. So like leading ladies, I'm not trying to talk to the men.
Yeah.
I'm trying to talk to women, diba? And I'm not trying to talk to all sorts of women, but only this specific kind of women.
Yeah. And knowing, trusting that your audience will find you.
Yes.
So even when I started with this work, like, I'm like, I would get triggered. Parang, same. Oh, bakit goddess workshop then? Actually, lahat naman may goddess workshop.
We can relate. We can relate.
No, parang same. We're all doing the same. Alignment, ganito. I'm like, but then I realized, I'm like, but my style is different. And then people will come to me because they
Yes.
like my
Yeah.
style, or
Yeah.
they like me, or I can collab with them because actually it's synergy. So, when I just started shifting that way, then actually my tip lang just to share with you guys. So whenever I get triggered by somebody in the business, instead of like, probably when I feel like that, I'm like, I will reach out to them and I will be like, hey, how can we work together? And always it works out. So
Nice.
much better. So parang I really push myself. Like when I feel triggered, like, parang kinakopya ako. Or parang, it's the same. And then in my head, I have to remind myself, hindi naman proprietary. Like it's all there, you know, right?
Yeah.
So let's just work together. Right?
Actually, when I would like just to share, when I started Posh Nails 23 years ago, there there wasn't much of nail salons. And then when it started popping, naging problem ko siya. I was only 22. Siyempre insecure. Parang, I talked to my dad. He's my mentor. Dad, paano ba yun? Parang lahat na lang, pati yung pricing namin ginaya. And then he would always say, you know, you don't look back. Go forward. Think of new things to offer. Think of new things that people would enjoy. And you go back to your reason why you're here. You don't have to compare yourself. Pareho kami, pareho. No, that will only distract you. In fact, just look forward, move on, and just offer them the best service possible.
Wow.
And I think that's why we're still here.
Amazing.
Thank you, God.
And you know what they say actually? Competition means that the industry is doing well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then that people will really like adapt to it, right? That means that there's a need. So you're right. You just have to keep moving forward, offering new things,
True.
being better, like doing your best.
Doing your best,
diba?
yeah.
And kanya-kanyang style, diba? Iba-ibang aesthetic, iba-ibang
True.
audience, or right? So it's really a lot of opportunity to do well when you shift that mindset.
Correct.
Let's talk, because it's always a hot topic in the podcast. How do you balance yun nga, motherhood and work and all of this? Hala, balance ba?
Well,
walang
Dati
balance.
walang balance, actually.
Ikaw okay ka na. Because you're
ano na eh, teenager. I have
Oh
a
wow, they don't
teenager.
wanna be with you na. No,
Please
sorry.
don't- Yeah, but yeah, I know, right? Kasi parang, now that I'm looking back, I'm like, sayang pala, dati pala. Kasi when she was younger, I remember she said, I don't want your work kasi you're always busy. Like, you're always on. Parang she never wanted to be
Okay.
parang na the same job as me because I'm always at work. And I remember she would say, why don't you let your clients go to the house? She was still young. She's so fine. Pero parang, naisip ko na, oh my God, when she became a teenager, she's like, she has her own world. And then now that I want, hey, let's spend time. Because at that time, I'm starting. So I really want to prove myself. So I had to do all of these
course.
things and to do all client servicing. So you always have to be there.
Yeah.
Pero now that I have time, teenager na siya. Yeah, but I still try to make time. Like, until now, I wake up every time before she goes to school just to see her off to school. And then now as a teenager, so they have their space. I just say, hi, hello, how's your day? And if she has time to talk to me, then we talk. And then we travel. Then we have our little moments together. Kahit na dinner, that became like a sacred time.
That's nice.
Kasi that's the only time that we can really be together and talk. And then after that, we do our
But
own
you know
thing.
what, Rach? What gift you're giving to your daughter is being an empowered woman, right? So, you know, it's nice. They say that children of working women really have like a lot of value for work, also a lot of respect for women, diba? So children of mothers who work. So yeah, parang when it's sad na, because I also feel sad because when my kids were babies, I was so gung-ho to go back to work. Parang at the time, because they're now 8 and 10, parang at the time it was like, oh, you can do it all. Pop a baby, go back to work, in 3 weeks again, doon ako nagpa-pump, and like, bring pa my baby, go, go, go. Parang I regret actually not slowing down ng konti,
Right.
diba? Like, kasi that's precious time. But at the same time, I also know that, you know, I make time for them, but that it's also valuable and that they will respect and admire women. I have two boys kasi. They will respect and admire women who work and will support them.
Yeah.
Diba? So,
You know, there's this thing that I read from the book Lean In by Sheryl Sandberg. So, she's really a champion of like female leadership kasi
Yeah.
talaga. And also at the same time being a family woman. I mean, you can't really deny that there are needs from a family that, you know, that's just there, and it's super demanding as your work.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure who she was talking to, pero parang that person, or I think she asked, how do you do everything? And the answer was, I don't.
yeah.
I think it's very important for us to know that, you know, as much as we want to wear all the hats, there are hats that you just cannot. So you need to pick. If your limit is 3, pick your 3. And all the rest that comes after the 3, you drop it if you need to drop it.
Correct.
Because if you don't have that list, then you're always gonna feel like I'm failing something.
Yeah.
But if you know that your 3 is intact, so if there's family and my career or my work there, okay na. Happy na ako. Kung hindi malinis yung bahay ko, okay lang.
Pero minsan, diba
Okay
now,
na to.
may, you know, skincare, exercise.
7 steps
yeah.
ba? Now, ang dami na.
Ang dami na,
Pero
eksena.
bakit 7 na? Eh, diba dati 1 ganun lang?
Totoo.
Like, I'll try and spend time with friends, meditate. But,
Correct.
you know, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. But as long as you do what fills your cup.
Yeah.
And then you'll actually have more time and energy for everything else.
Agree.
Basta
Yeah.
your cup is full, diba? How about you, Kat? Wanna weigh in on this?
For work-life balance, I don't think that we can really do it. Like, for me, I don't have kids, but I have 36 franchisees.
Oh my God.
And,
Galing. Babies mo na rin yun.
Yeah, and it's quite hard to really do great in all of your businesses. So I agree with what Rick was trying to say. You really choose what you prioritize. So in also like maintaining your routine, your exercise, family time. So there's a lot on our plate. So you get to choose which one to prioritize first and which can take a back seat. So I think just really knowing what is more important and what needs attention, then that's your top 3, as Rica said.
And you know what? I call it like the theory of shifting priorities because on some days, your work is more important.
Yes.
And then on other days, your kids are more important. And on other days, you're more
Yourself.
important.
Yeah. Yes.
And sometimes, even throughout the day, iba-iba, right?
Correct.
Right?
Agree.
So, you know, like, I think where you need to flow. You need to flow and see what needs your attention now. And, you know, and I think a lot of people maybe in the past would get really boxed into trying to focus on everything all at once. But you really cannot. So,
Parang now because we're mature ladies now, so parang now I get to prioritize. Parang before, I want to do everything. I want to spend time with my friends. I want to be, parang, how do you actually do all of those things? Tapos
I think
pag
the hormones
Yeah.
are telling you, you can't do everything
Yeah.
na. Yung mas bata ka, complete pa sila.
Oo nga.
that's
Totoo.
true.
Pero now, okay, sige, bahay na lang. Honestly, parang, okay, dito na lang ako magre-rest na lang ako.
Yeah.
Time for myself.
Wait, let's talk about that. Hormones in the workplace. Come on, it's a
Raging
real
hormones.
thing. Yeah, it's a real thing that like men don't have to deal with, but we do. Like I've tried cycle syncing, but I'm not so good at it. But in general, like I'm be like, okay, if it's near my time of the, I'll maybe like, parang when it's near my menstrual time, I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna not do anything too active or whatever. Do you find? I mean, I can do that because I'm freelance. But how do you deal with the shift in the different hormones throughout the month and then the demands of your work? You know.
Ako, honestly, I'm not so, I just know when it's my period's about to come. But aside from that, I really don't do anything.
You just power through?
Yeah, I just power through. But I'm really, I'm really conscious lang. Well, I'm conscious when it comes to my husband. Like, I tell him, okay, this week, you know, if I'm cranky, I'm cranky, so just be, but with work, I just have to
Power through.
Yeah, power through. But it's only with my husband that I tell, hey, I'm about to have a baby. You have to understand.
Yeah.
Love it.
Ako, I take a day off talaga. Hindi talaga kaya if that
Yeah.
day is there already, so I take a rest. I always tell people that we need that rest for ourselves also, kung kaya lang naman. I know si Rache kasi has a lot of deadlines. She has a lot of events. So when you take a rest and then you can serve better after.
That's
Yeah,
great.
I think listening to your body is a fairly new concept talaga for a lot of people.
is.
Kasi the generation that we're coming from is like, just power through. No matter what.
Like,
Huwag
yeah,
mong
ang
pakinggan
dami nilang sakit.
Oo, di ba? Oo, huwag mo na
Yeah.
pakinggan kung may lagnat ka, postpone mo muna, may event tayo. Ganon, di ba? Ganon before. But you know, in my 40s, I realized pag nagkukulang ng, okay, hindi na balanced yung mga hormones, it forces you to really listen. Okay, I'm fatigued
Yeah.
today. What is, okay, luteal ba ako? Am I
Yes.
ovulating? Whatever, di ba? You're looking at you're tracking everything. But I think most important is when your body, so the other day, I felt sleepy the whole day. I mean, I ran and stuff. And after running, I was like expecting, this is gonna boost my energy. I'll be okay. But no, I wanted to be in my pajamas at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
So bakit, diba? So I was just paying attention. Buti na lang nga, I have the privilege of like, letting myself bed rot the whole day if I needed to. And I allowed myself. I think the lie there kasi is that if I allow myself today, I'll be like this forever.
Yeah. Or it's a failure.
Or it's a failure. And I really was trying to fight that, ha? Kasi sabi ko, read ka naman kahit book lang. Ganun. At least kahit one lang accomplish mo lang
I'm
yun.
the queen of lazing around. Like, I'm sick. Oh, yay. Ang dami kong makakash.
You know how I wish.
Same.
Kaya ka nagre-retreat Ikaw ang magtuturo talaga sa mga, I mean, I'm like super type A. So it
Yeah.
really frustrates
To let
me to
go.
not have at least one thing ticked on
We're
my
the same.
list.
I have a checklist.
Right?
Oh, wow.
I
So,
need to check them.
Steph and I are the same.
Flow
I
lang.
think that it's very important. Like what you guys have, for us to learn. Like people like us to
And
learn
vice
that.
versa. And I
Yeah.
think that's also the power of community, right?
Right. True,
You know,
true,
I always
true.
have friends who are more like me, but I also have friends. Actually, my partner, Scott, yan, Mr. Excel sheet. Lahat. My Excel. Lahat. He does my accounting, my taxes, whatever. I'm like, yay, he keeps my
Excel.
schedule. Because I would lose, income because I couldn't keep track of it. Because I'm the type
wow.
of person that would be like, go, give everything to the
Creative,
project,
yeah.
and then the project is done. Okay, move on to the next.
Yeah.
And then I'll forget. Sometimes kasi diba, it's billed after 2 months, 3 months,
true.
and then
Right.
you're kind of keeping track, but then there would always be stuff. So buti na lang. So it's really the power also of partnership.
Right.
And really like, whether that's your actual partner or husband or your business partner or someone you can rely on
Yeah.
in the office that you can offload, like learning your strengths and how you work. And then also knowing that where you're not good at, then you can bring someone to support you in, right? Because
Exactly.
that's super important. Parang before I used to be one-man show lang.
Yes,
Now,
yes.
I'm
Now,
like,
no.
"Damn."
have
diba? Yung practice of delegation, diba? You delegate what you cannot do and you don't want to do, and you
Correct.
free yourself to do exactly what you can do.
Yeah. Why don't we go around and just give sort of our one piece of advice for women out there who might be at a crossroads, of their business, or are they going to invest more? Are they going to close? Or they're just feeling lost, or overwhelmed? What advice would you give them?
Just thinking like people from our community, usually they're at a crossroads whether they should close or change. First things first, let's go back to your why. Why? What is the purpose why you started this business? Why are you in this industry? And if it's not serving you the way you think it should have, then maybe take a pause and recalibrate. That's what Rich was saying earlier. Think about it. But always, for those people who want to invest, always they say take risk, but I say take a calculated risk. Do not throw everything you have in one basket. Do not just invest on things that you're not familiar of. It's just really know what you want, know yourself, and know that industry that you want to take. And making decisions, it's always important that you have a community or mentors. Ngayon na lang that we accept that ay kailangan ko pala ng kausap. Before kasi parang kailangan alam mo lahat because
Totoo
ikaw
yun.
nandiyan ka sa industry na yan alam mo yan. No. Now get to learn from the younger. We get to learn from the younger people. They're the creatives now. We get to learn from people who have been in the business for so long. So I guess we just need to be open-minded in receiving this advice and learnings and making the most out of it.
Yeah, parang even learning from people from other industries.
Yeah.
Because they have like a different perspective, diba? So, anybody else would like to add?
Siguro to add to what Kat said, I think that's basically, there's there's no stupid questions. There's you can, because we're here to learn from each other.
Yeah.
So even if I am parang like Kat, diba? She's the pioneer. She's still also there to learn. Even me, even if I'm here so long in the industry, I have so much to learn pa rin. So it's really all about learning from each other. So don't be afraid to ask or to get mentors or to ask. Kasi like you said, you mentioned a while ago na people from the different industries, they can have different perspective. And in fact, they can actually give you a different kind of insight
Yes.
that, parang
Exactly.
light bulb moment for you.
Yeah.
So it's really great that you talk to different people or be surrounded with people who can give valuable advice for you. So kasi like us, just being with them, just talking to them, you learn from them already. So you just really have to surround yourself with people who are like-minded.
Even just being inspired by their
Yes,
energy.
yes,
Diba?
yes.
Like, I sometimes I just get inspired by like, wow, galing mo, girl. Like, I want that energy.
Yeah, yeah.
I want your, like the way you push yourself forward.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
I think what you're describing also is the female brain. Like we have a lot of things going on at the same time. Kaya you have a tendency to feel lost and overwhelmed, even if those things are not real, because they're just all in your head, right? So it's very important. Like I was taught before by like a writing teacher na you articulate it. So talk to someone. When you articulate it, you talk to someone about it, you get to process it. Sometimes there pa lang, you get to understand now what you really want. Because sometimes that's the missing thing. You don't know what you want. You have 100 things going on in your head, but I don't really know what I want. So you need to
Yes.
talk to someone who can draw that out of you. If you don't have that, you have to find that person who can do that for you. Then second, if it's like something that needs action, act on it. Kasi that's the only way you can
Correct.
test it eh. And if you test it and it doesn't work, then you have an answer also. Na parang, okay. Then, because me, I just went through that. I was testing a couple of things and I was like, okay, ginawa ko na to. I don't like this pala.
Yeah.
I only got my answer because I
You
acted
tried.
on
You
it. If I did not act on it, it will still be a mental load telling me that you're a failure, you're not doing your idea, you're not executing. But when I did, I said, ayoko pala nito. So I have an answer and I have my peace now.
Yeah, correct. For me, so I'll just share with the audience here and you guys. So I ran a catering business and then for 5 years and then a restaurant for a year and a half. And then eventually I had to close down. And then just recently, last year, I left my editorial post to like dive into, a regular, good paying job with editor of a magazine, but to dive into make taya on myself, like, on this business, on Soulful Feast, the podcast, the community, the workshops, and all of that. And, if there's anything that my restaurant taught me, and even actually it was maybe also just as hard to let go of the editorial post, was you have to have courage and you have to have trust. And actually awareness, courage, and trust. Kasi when something is already giving you the cringe, that it's already not for you. That you know na but you don't want to let go. Parang break up with that ex-boyfriend.
That is so
break up with a boyfriend.
true.
That's how when I wrote my article about closing my restaurant and my food business, 5 years of my life is a lot. That was like, I invested, it's a lot of money, and it was parang, but I was just so, do I pour more money in? Do I let, grow? Do I move locations? Do I whatever? And then at the end of the day, it was like, I actually felt relief. And it's like a boyfriend that you treasure all your memories. And part of it is like you invested na so much time. You wanted to work, magkatuluyan na tayo. But then really, it's not the one for you, right? So when you let go, there's like a relief, right? So there's a grieving period and a relief. But then same with Tatler. But so you have to have courage to awareness, courage to do what is necessary, but also trust. Kasi once you let go of what's not for you, may papasok. May papasok. And that's what I've learned, that there's always an opportunity. So with that, parang I just want to wrap up. Let's invite people to March 29. So if you want to get to know the Leading Ladies community, maybe invite them where they can find you and how to join March 29.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, Kat. Si Kat pa rin.
Okay, so we're inviting everybody to please join every woman on March 29th. Every ambitious woman. We will be having a lot of activities for them. A lot of workshops. A lot of partner brands are showcasing their products, and then a lot of speakers. So let me just tell you a couple of our speakers headed by Crystal Bellopit.
Yeah.
And then we also have Danny Barreto. We have Jack Gutierrez of Happy Skin and Marge Marroquette for content creation. And about 17 more speaking on that day.
Amazing.
So this is on March 29th at the Blue Leaf Cosmopolitan. They can avail of the tickets through our website, leadingladies.ph.
So aside from all the speakers and activities, this is really all about you, and we have it's really the time to connect and to meet new people. So this is what it's all about: time to connect and just meet new people to inspire you.
Yeah, I think they said everything. It's a good investment, and we'll see you on March 29.
Wonderful. Thank you, ladies, so much. And where can people reach out to you guys?
Okay, so they can follow us at Ladies Let's Lead on Instagram.
Okay, I love it. At Ladies, Let's Lead. I think that is a fitting ending to our podcast. We can go on chica for much longer. But, thank you so much. It's really inspiring. And, especially for me, who this is the first time I'm betting on myself, and really creating a business that's different and new. And so I really get a lot of inspiration from female entrepreneurs like yourself, and how, empowering you are to other entrepreneurs. So good job on doing that. And yeah, if you guys enjoy this podcast, don't forget to share it. And don't forget to sign up as well for March 29. It's going to be an amazing event where you can connect and be inspired by other women who are running their own businesses, other creatives, and just be surrounded by good vibes, which, I feel like us women, we bring the good vibes. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to leave us a comment or follow us on Instagram at Soulful Feast, and follow me on Instagram at Stephanie Zubiri. Thank you, and that was Soulful Feast, bite-sized information to nourish your body, mind, and spirit.